Hello everybody, my name is Danny Carbajal. Today I'm going to be doing a speech on multiple sclerosis, what it is, and how it affects those who have it. Now many people have heard the term MS or multiple sclerosis, but really have no idea as to what multiple sclerosis truly is. According to the National Multiple Sclerosis Foundation 2016, multiple sclerosis is an unpredictable, often disabling disease of the central nervous system that disrupts the flow of information within the brain and between the brain and the body. Multiple sclerosis, or MS, is a long-lasting disease that can affect your brain, your spinal cord, and the optic nerves in your eyes. It can cause problems with vision, balance, muscle control, and other basic bodily functions. Now, what MS does, to kind of give you an example, is you have a sheath, a protective barrier, if you'd like to call it, called the myelin sheath. Now, what the myelin sheath does is it protects the nervous optics. So, when the myelin sheath tends to get disrupted or kind of eaten away by multiple sclerosis, it tends to expose the nerve, and whatever nerve in your body that is controlling, or whatever portion of your body rather that nerve is controlling, when it gets affected because the myelin sheath is getting eaten away and it kind of disrupts what that nerve is doing, it affects your body. Now, I am somebody who has multiple sclerosis. I got diagnosed just shy of 15 years ago. And to this point, it has been one heck of a roller coaster. Now, my MS is relapsing remitting. So to this point, knock on wood, I have been semi-lucky in the fact that most of the stuff that has been affected with me has come back. For an example, about 9 years ago, I lost complete use of my leg. Now, when I say complete use, I could not lift it, I couldn't bend at my knee, I couldn't straighten. It was just kind of a dead limb hanging there. So I ended up having to walk around on a cane and sometimes a walker and just drug my leg with me. It is just an absolutely horrible feeling having a leg or an arm or what have you that gets affected and not being able to use it the way that God had meant for your limbs to work. But like I said, since I do have the relapsing remitting MS, over time, slowly, it kind of came back. I started getting back to feelings in my leg. And over time and a lot of rehab, I was able to use my leg properly again. To this point, my leg has been pretty stable aside from the normal aches and pains caused by multiple sclerosis. Now, my story is different than a lot of others. It seems like everybody who has multiple sclerosis tends to have different style symptoms as to what happens with the way MS attacks. Just a really brief story. Now, I wish I remember the name of the gentleman who told this to me, but I don't, but I do remember his story. I attended a multiple sclerosis support group, and the leader of the support group kind of sat with me one-on-one and told me his story. He got diagnosed with MS when he was 35 years old. Now, he was an extremely active person. He was a mountain biker, mountain climber, you name it, he did it. He'd go surfing. He's just an extremely all-around athletic type person, outdoorsy kind of guy. Well, one morning, he woke up and thought, oh my goodness, it's really dark in here. I can't see what's going on. You know, I must be 2, 3 in the morning. So he said he kind of stumbled his way out of his bedroom, and when he did, he kind of walked by the window in his room, and he could feel heat. It was summertime. He could feel the heat radiating from the sun against the window. And he thought to himself, golly, something must be amiss here. Something's wrong. So he said he stumbled his way through his apartment, made his way to the front door, kind of hugging the walls because he couldn't see anything. And he was able to open the door and heard cars going by, people talking. He could feel the sun on his skin. So he knew that it was daylight, but he couldn't see. So his first, or the encounter that he had with multiple sclerosis, is he literally woke up blind. It took almost 5 years for them to officially diagnose that he had multiple sclerosis. With me, on the other hand, what ended up happening with me was when I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, I lost use of my right arm. Throughout the day, I could feel a tingling sensation run down my arm, and the next thing I know, my arm had gotten stuck literally in this position right here. And I was unable to move my arm, and this took about 10 months. I was just stuck. And it was extremely painful. Anytime that you tried to move, or I tried to move my arm, it was just nothing but sheer pain. Now, the only true way to tell if you have MS is to have a spinal tap done. And that was a whole other story. That is just a terrible, terrible experience that I hope none of you ever have to go through. They actually puncture your spinal sac and withdraw some fluid and test that for MS. And that is how I found out that I actually had multiple sclerosis. Once again, the effects are different for everyone who has the disease. Some people have mild symptoms and don't even need treatment. Others will have trouble getting around and even doing daily tasks. That is according to WebMD 2015. MS can also have a big impact on a person's ability to participate in society, remain in employment, and have relationships. That is according to the MS International Federation 2017. Now that brings me to living with MS. For me, and I'm going to speak on my part only here because once again I have had or been diagnosed with MS now for just shy of 15 years. It has had a very big strain on me in society, personal relationships, and the whole 9 yards. I had a very good business, a lucrative business. I was a motorcycle mechanic, and I started losing feeling in my hands. I could no longer perform my job. So I ended up having to close my shop and look and seek further things to be able to pay my bills every month. It definitely has a massive impact on you in your social life, in relationships, the whole 9 yards. In conclusion, MS is one heck of a disease that I wish we could find a cure for. There is no rhyme or reason for why you get it. It's kind of a luck of the draw. It is not hereditary. It is just one of those things where you get it, you don't, and you get it. Nobody knows why. Doctors don't know why. So once again, I hope I enlightened you and helped with the understanding of what multiple sclerosis truly is. And I guess we'll go from there. Thank you. Have a good day.